Hashtag my firefighter wife saved her ex's son and forgot our daughter. I took everything back. The sea wind carried city noise over the glass walls of Harbor Platinum luxury apartments. This high-end riverside mansion was built by Lex Reynard. A big charity tasting dinner was held here tonight. Rich investors and famous socialites filled the venue. My security tech firm Anchi Tech built the full smart fire system for the building. It had heat imaging scanners, kid location wristbands, emergency route guides. Every layer was made to fix blind spots in high-rise fire rescues. I used to serve in the city disaster rescue unit. I saw countless fire tragedies back then. After discharge, I poured all my savings into Anchi Tech. I did not chase fame or money. I wanted to use technology to open escape paths for people trapped in fires. My wife Ella West was a senior captain with Seattle Fire Department. Her uniform looked sharp and neat. Everyone called her a brave frontline rescuer. I used to be proud of her. Our 7-year-old daughter Erin was quiet and clingy. She loved drawing fire trucks every day. That night, she wore the kid location wristband. She played with other kids in the second-floor children's room. 7 p.m. sharp. The peaceful dinner fell into chaos. A yellow warning popped up on my control screen. Temperature along the north service corridor shot up fast. Power data jumped wildly. Marcus, my COO, spotted the change first. He ran the fire system for years. He guessed a temporary circuit failure. Before he finished speaking, the yellow warning turned solid red. A fire broke out. Wires hidden inside wall gaps caught flame. High heat and thick smoke spread everywhere in seconds. The building fire alarm blared through every room. For 1 second, everyone froze. Panic exploded right after. Guests ran around to escape. Glasses crashed on the floor. Muffled shouts mixed together. Ella was off duty, but she reacted like a firefighter at once. She pulled out her walkie-talkie. Her calm voice told everyone to leave through the east safe passage. I felt steady watching her work. Lex Reynard, the building developer and Ella's first love, ran out of the crowd. His face turned pale. He shook and begged Ella nonstop. His 8-year-old son Noah was stuck inside the children's room. I held up my tablet. 2 bright red dots flashed clear on the screen. Noah and Erin's location signals did not move. Both stayed in the high-risk fire zone. Fire rescue trucks arrived minutes later. Captain Elena led the on-site command. I stepped forward immediately to report. My system tracked 2 trapped kids. Fire in the north corridor was out of control. The service stairwell only stayed safe for a few more minutes. Ella put on full rescue gear fast. Captain Elena told her to only give backup support. No solo entry. Lex cried and begged nonstop. Ella ignored the order and led a team into thick smoke. I stared at the live monitoring screen. My heart felt tight in my throat. Soon, Ella's voice came through the walkie-talkie. She found the trapped child and carried him out. Seconds later, a figure stumbled out of the smoke entrance. It was Ella. Ash covered her hair and clothes. She held Lex's son Noah tight in her arms. Media cameras flashed nonstop outside the building. Onlookers clapped and cheered loud. Everyone praised Ella for her bravery. Lex rushed over and hugged his son. He cried hard. He thanked Ella like she saved his whole life. Only I stood stiff, cold all over. On my tablet, Erin's red location light stayed fixed in the north storage room. It never moved once. I yelled to tell everyone Erin was still trapped inside the fire. Lex spoke right away to block my words. He said I had already taken Erin out safely. Ella looked down at her rescue tablet when she heard me shout. 3 red trapped child alerts popped up one after another. Half a second of silence passed. That pause said everything. She saw the alerts. She saw our daughter's position. But she chose to buy Lex's lie and look away. She saved her old lover's boy. She left her own daughter to burn. Cheers and claps from outside grew louder. The noise hurt my ears. Cameras captured Ella walking out with Noah. The photo became a heroic shot for all to see. Lex knelt down to hold his son. He sobbed and thanked Ella over and over in front of the crowd. No one cared our little girl was still stuck in fire. I watched the unmoving red dot on my screen. Hot smoke felt like it blocked my chest. 3 system alerts flashed brighter each time. Erin's wristband locked inside the north storage unit. The temperature number kept climbing. She was only 7. Her small body curled up in a closed, burning room. No one went to look for her. No one asked about her. Ella stood in the center of the crowd covered in ash. All eyes turned to her. She glanced up at me. Her gaze swept over my tablet screen. I caught her split-second panic. Avoidance. Rigid posture. Where is Aaron? I asked. My voice sounded shockingly calm. Ella's lips trembled. She glanced toward Lex without thinking. Lex lifted his head at once. He spoke firmly. I saw you lead Aaron out already. Karen, she's safe. Don't panic. That single sentence sealed my daughter's fate. Ella did not contradict him. Her fingers squeezed her tablet tight. She clearly saw the glaring red warnings. She heard me say Aaron was still inside. But she chose to agree with Lex's lie. She did not make a mistake from chaos. At that moment, she actively picked another man's child and abandoned her own blood. Captain Elena pushed through the crowd. Her face turned sharp and cold. Location confirmed? Confirmed. I answered without a single shake in my tone. My system never lies. My daughter is trapped in the north storage room. Heat builds fast. We are running out of time. Ella stepped forward at last. Her voice went dry. Karen, the fire messed up signals. The data could be wrong. Wrong? I cut her off. My eyes locked straight into hers. 3 alerts popped up. Ella, you saw everyone. Her pupils shrank. She could not find another word to defend herself. She was a senior fire captain. She knew the kid location system's accuracy better than anyone. She knew exactly what a fixed red dot meant in a fire. She just refused to doubt Lex. She refused to ruin the heroic image of saving her old love's son. Elena made a quick decision. She formed a fast rescue squad right away. She turned to me. You are not active fire staff. You cannot enter the fire zone. I don't need you to teach fire rules. I said slow and clear. I worked city disaster rescue full-time before discharge. I knew how to search smoke-filled closed spaces. I knew heat path checks and building escape logic. I built this whole system. I knew every dead corner and hidden danger better than anyone present. I stared straight into her eyes. Let me go in. I will find my daughter. Elena stayed silent for 2 seconds. She nodded and let me pass. Marcus walked up fast. He strapped the control tablet to my forearm. He fitted my breathing mask and safety rope. He whispered one short line only. All data records in real time. Come back alive. I did not glance at Ella again. One more look would humiliate Aaron and me all over again. Thick smoke swallowed the hallway. All cheers and noise from outside vanished instantly. High heat pressed down along the ceiling. Sight turned pitch black. Smoke twisted every shape around me. Broken glass under my feet burned hot. Sprinkler water hit the ground with dull thuds. I moved low to the ground. I dodged hot zones following the heat imaging feed. I drew closer step by step to the north storage room. Rescue team members cleared the path ahead. I stayed right behind them. I watched the faint blinking red dot on screen. The short dozen meters felt endless. Every second meant my daughter suffered through smoke and heat alone. The storage room door warped from extreme heat. It jammed shut tight. Team members forced the door open. A wave of scorching air rushed out. Heat imaging showed piles of collapsed shelves radiating heat everywhere. I ducked under broken debris. In the shadow of a corner cabinet, I saw my daughter, Erin, curled on the floor against the wall. One small hand pressed hard over her mouth and nose. Her blue dress covered in black ash. Her whole body shook. She held back all cries out of fear. My heart split open completely at the sight. I walked fast over. I dropped to one knee. I lowered my voice soft. Erin, Daddy's here. She slowly opened her eyes. Ash coated her eyelashes. The second she saw me, tiny tears spilled out. She whispered 2 rough words. Daddy. I wrapped the rescue blanket tight around her burning, shaking body. I covered her nose and mouth safely. We crept low to leave fast. Flames spread worse on the way back. Fire inside wall gaps kept burning. The whole passage could block off any minute. Erin grabbed my clothes the entire trip out. She did not make a sound. She swallowed all terror alone. We stepped out of smoke into night wind. I breathed out heavy relief. Paramedics rushed forward to take Erin for checks. I let them carry her without stopping them. I turned my head. I spotted Ella a short distance away. She stared at Erin wrapped in medical blankets. Her face turned as white as paper. Panic and regret filled her eyes. Lex stood very close beside her. He spoke quiet words to calm her down. I watched the scene. The last warm feeling inside me burned away to nothing. Erin stayed in emergency observation for hours. It was the hardest wait of my whole life. She was only 7. Smoke burned her breathing passages. Long scrap burns covered her forearm. Bruises dotted her entire body. She stayed unnaturally quiet the whole time. She did not cry or fuss. She only clutched a tiny rabbit plush the nurse gave her. Her eyes looked timid. She guarded against everything around her. The doctor gave a stable diagnosis: smoke inhalation injury, minor burns, severe stress trauma. She would recover physically, but she needed long-term mental therapy. This was the best possible outcome. It also stood as cruel proof. My daughter could have left the fire unhurt. All her fear and scars came from her mother's selfish choice in that life-or-death moment. Harsh white light lined the hospital hallway. I waited outside the ward door. My fingertips still carried the burnt smell from the fire. Ella showed up very late. Ash still stuck in her hair. Her uniform wrinkled and messy. She lost all the bright hero glow from the fire. Only mess and panic remained. She stopped a few steps in front of me. Her voice sounded rough from rushing over. "Karen, let me see Erin." I did not step aside to let her pass. I looked at her with flat eyes. No rage, no shouting, only cold emptiness. "When did you know she was still trapped inside?" I asked. Ella's eyelashes shook wildly. She dared not meet my gaze. Her tone held a lucky excuse to save herself. Everything turned chaotic in the fire. Smoke blocked all sight. "Lex said you took Erin out." I lost my head for a second. I thought everyone evacuated safely. "Lost your head?" I repeated the phrase soft and cold. "You are a fire captain, Ella. You took countless emergency fire drills. You saved lives based on data and judgment, not random words from another person." I pulled out my phone. I opened the backed-up system log. Clear timestamps and 3 highlighted alert records showed up on the screen for her to see. "Your personal command tablet sent Erin's trapped warning at 7:06, 7:07, 7:08, 3 times straight. The captain called your radio twice to confirm my daughter's location. You stayed silent both times." I stared at her flustered eyes and stripped away all her self-deceptive lies. "You did not lose your head. You chose not to trust the system. You chose to trust Lex. You were certain I could rescue Erin, so you felt fine leaving her behind to save Noah first." That line shattered her last layer of fake defense. Ella's eyes flooded with tears instantly. She broke down and argued. "I did not abandon her, Karen. Noah was right there in front of me. I could not stand by and watch him die. I always thought you would protect Erin. I truly believe that. So that counts as your excuse?" My tone stayed light, but every word cut deep. "My ability to rescue became your reason to leave our daughter behind?" She froze in place. Her whole body shook. She could not find another word to fight back. Lex hurried over at that moment. He carried a fruit basket for comfort. He acted deliberately gentle. He tried to smooth things over. "I know you are furious, Karen. Tonight's incident was just an accident. No one can predict fire chaos." Ella suffered a huge shock too. "She did not mean this. Both kids survived unharmed. That is the best result we can ask for." "Shut up." I shot him down with cold, sharp eyes. Lex's face stiffened. His fake soft look faded a little. "You made up a random lie that nearly killed my daughter." I walked closer step by step. I did not back down at all. "You had no idea where Erin was. You never checked to confirm her safety. Yet you told rescue staff she was fine. What right did you have to decide my child's life or death?" Lex had no lines to reply. He stood there awkward and silent. I ignored both of them. I dialed my lawyer right away, my tone steady and firm. "Rebecca, file emergency full custody papers and divorce lawsuits immediately. Freeze all of Ella's company access permissions and asset entry rights at the same time. Pull all system logs, rescue radio recordings, and on-site footage for full evidence storage." One phone call sealed everything. Ella's eyes widened in shock. She stared at me in disbelief. "You want a divorce? While Erin stays in hospital? Karen, can you calm down first?" "I am completely calm." I looked at her. No warm feeling left in my heart at all. I finished calming down while trapped in that fire looking for our daughter. The second you chose to save another man's child instead of ours, our marriage died completely. This was no impulsive act, no revenge plan. I watched my wife pick her old lover's son over her own daughter when death waited. At that second, all my love and patience vanished without trace. Tears streamed down Ella's face nonstop. She reached out humbly to grab my arm. I stepped sideways to avoid her touch. "I messed up, Karen. I truly know I was wrong. I can make it right. I will care for Erin every day. I will spend everything I have to compensate her." "No need." I cut her off flatly. "You missed every single chance to make amends." Erin's quiet cough drifted out from the ward. She barely escaped death hours earlier. Her mother never showed up when she feared for her life. From today onward, I would never let my daughter rely on anyone's kindness or preference ever again. Lex watched us fight. His expression shifted between dark and uncertain. He said nothing more. He stood aside like an unrelated witness. I pulled my gaze away. I did not look at these two people who disgusted me anymore. The fire burned off the building's fancy surface. It burned away all years of marriage and affection too. From this moment, I only had one identity: Erin's protector. Erin rested in hospital overnight to recover. Public opinion storms started brewing without us noticing. Dawn broke. Lex's Reynard development released an official statement early morning. The writing sounded mild and proper, but every line rewrote the truth of the fire last night. The statement praised Ella's fearless bravery nonstop. It said she kept calm amid sudden fire. She risked her life to save trapped boy Noah. People called her a heroic frontline worker worthy of full respect. The hundreds-word draft overflowed with flattering words. It never mentioned Erin, who also got trapped and rescued. It never spoke of hidden safety risks in the building that caused the fire. It said nothing about Lex misleading rescuers and hiding the truth. The serious safety violation fire turned into a warm heroic rescue story with a single press release. Marcus sent me a screenshot of the PR statement right away. Anger built up heavy in his voice. Classic trick to shift blame and escape responsibility. He clears himself fully. He pushes Ella to the front as a hero. All hidden dangers and mistakes get blurred and ignored. He even hints the fire broke out because the system was too complex, subtly shifting fault to our security equipment. I slid my finger over the fake words on screen. I felt nothing inside. This was a standard trick for businessmen. They use public praise to cover their own neglect and greed. Last night's chaos was never an accident. Back when the charity dinner was being planned, Unchitech sent multiple risk warnings to Reynard Development. Harbor Platinum's North Corridor had extra temporary lights and display gear installed without permission. They overloaded power circuits on purpose. Hidden wall wiring got remodeled without official safety checks. We told them clearly that the circuits in this area stayed unstable. Major fire risks existed. They could not host large crowded events until full safety repairs and inspections finished. But Lex only cared about building a perfect high-end mansion image to lock in investors. He ignored every safety warning completely. His reply sounded forceful and profit-focused. He only needed marketing lines to convince investors. Safety repairs and full system checks could wait indefinitely. He gambled the safety of every guest, including 2 innocent children, just for fame and profit. Did Rebecca finish all paperwork? I lifted my head and asked. All filed with 0 loopholes. Marcus nodded. Risk warning emails, abnormal circuit records, on-site audio and video footage, full system logs. The whole evidence chain stays intact. No edits possible at all. I nodded slightly. Public opinion hype meant nothing solid. Data and hard truth never lied. Midday the same day, our legal team sent official warning letters to Reynard Development, the main construction contractor, and electrical subcontractors all at once. We held them fully responsible for illegal construction, ignoring safety rules, hiding hidden risks, and misleading rescue operations during the fire. The second the letters arrived, Lex panicked for real. He refused to face the liability claims or cooperate with safety inspections. Instead, he sent me a long private message in secret. His gentle tone from the day before faded away. A hint of forced compromise and threat filled every sentence. He said everyone suffered from this accidental fire. No one could control the chaos during the blaze. There was no need to dig up past mistakes and turn a safety accident into commercial retaliation and personal conflict. He tried to tie old friendship and current public praise to pressure me. He wanted me to withdraw all lawsuits and erase every problem. I read his reversed logic and only felt deep irony. He never regretted his greed starting the fire. He never felt guilty his lie almost killed a 7-year-old girl. He only thought I overreacted and targeted him on purpose. Late afternoon, Ella came to the hospital alone. Lex did not follow her. She wore plain casual clothes instead of uniform. Her eyes looked exhausted and red-rimmed. She clearly stayed awake all night. Nurses strictly monitored her visit per doctor's orders. She stood at the ward door. She watched Erin sleep soundly inside. Her eyes looked soft and sad. She hesitated to step closer. Can I stay with her for 10 minutes, only? Her voice sounded tiny, full of careful begging. My tone stayed flat. The doctor said she needs complete quiet recovery space right now. Any emotional shift will hurt her healing. Ella squeezed her fingers tight. Her throat moved up and down. I know I have no right to beg favors. But Karen, I need you to know I never plotted anything with Lex. I just trusted the wrong person in all that chaos. You did not trust the wrong person. I looked straight at her and laid bare the core truth. When life and death hung in balance, you weighed options and chose to abandon your own daughter. Chaos was never an excuse. The choice you made from your heart hurt Erin deeply. Her whole body shook. Her face turned pale white. She could no longer lie to herself. The 10-minute visit passed in total silence. She only stared quietly at Erin. Endless regret filled her eyes. But this late remorse felt cheap and empty. Before she left, she whispered one line. I really thought you would keep her safe. I did not answer. Every lucky guess and selfish choice from adults carries a price to pay. The easy safety she took for granted turned into a near-death nightmare for our daughter. It also ended our relationship completely. Outside conflict grew worse by the hour. Cooperating insurance groups suspended all safety ratings and certification for Harbor Platinum Apartments. They waited for official investigation results. Investors pulled back funds and hesitated to sign new contracts. The top-tier mansion reputation Lex built for years started collapsing fully. The fire he lit with his own greed finally burned back on him. Erin's physical indicators improved steadily. She could walk around for short periods. She sat by the window holding picture books quietly to watch green plants downstairs. She still did not speak much. She clung to me instinctively. If I stepped out of her sight for even a second, unease filled her eyes. The child's vulnerability hit me hard. It erased every thought of compromise I might have held. I told lawyers to speed up sorting all evidence. Divorce and custody applications moved into official review processes. We only waited for standard legal steps to finish. I thought Ella would accept reality quietly and stop fighting. But late evening, someone knocked hard on my front door. Ella's parents stood outside. Both wore serious faces. They carried heavy pressure from being elders. They clearly came to pressure me into backing down. I expected their visit long before. I stepped aside to let them enter. My attitude stayed calm without any compromise. Soft lights filled the living room. The space should feel warm and peaceful. But tight tension hung thick in the air. Ella's mother spoke first. Her tone carried the biased force comment to elders. Karen, we heard you plan to divorce Ella and take full custody of Erin. Is this not far too harsh? I poured 2 cups of warm water for them. My movements relaxed and unyielding. And you must have heard what happened in the fire. I do not make unreasonable demands. I only seek justice for my daughter. It was just an accident. Ella's father cut in fast. His eyebrows crinkled tight. His voice turned stern. Ella works as public firefighter. Saving lives is her job. Rescuing trapped children in crisis shows professional integrity and kindness. Do you divorce her and strip her of child custody just because she saved another family's kid? No one will agree with that story if it gets out. This moral blackmail matched Ella's old excuses exactly. It showed the whole family's selfish assumptions and blind luck mindset. I lifted my eyes to face them. I broke down their false arguments word by word. Uncle, saving people is her job. But helping strangers cannot come at the cost of abandoning your own blood. 3 alerts warned Ella Erin stayed trapped in the fire that night. She ignored all 3. Command radio called twice to confirm our daughter's location. She stayed silent and avoided answering. She did not lack time to save Erin. She chose not to save her on purpose. I opened my phone and played stored official rescue audio and system logs. Cold mechanical warning tones, captain's questions. Ella's total silence echoed through the living room clear as day. She is a senior fire captain. She understands better than anyone what a trapped location alert means. Chaos cannot serve as an excuse. Professional instinct never makes you ignore your own child's life danger. Ella's mother's face softened a little. She switched to emotional manipulation. Young people make foolish split-second mistakes. Ella cries nonstop every day after this. She lies awake all night drowning in regret. She is Erin's birth mother. Blood connects them. How could she truly stop loving her own child? Can you not forgive this single error for years of marriage between you two? A split-second mistake? I shook my head gently. No warmth remained in my eyes. Choices made when death waits are never simple mistakes. They show your true heart. At that moment, her heart valued an old lover and public fame above her own daughter. You only fixate on this tiny flaw. Ella's father's voice grew sharp with heavy pressure. Ella served the fire department faithfully for years. She earned countless awards and a perfect public reputation. Do you want to ruin her entire career over this one incident? If you push this all the way through, not only will her professional life end, outsiders will call you cold-blooded and cruel for destroying your wife. I finally understood their real reason for visiting. They never cared about Erin nearly burning alive in the fire. They never thought over their daughter's serious failure. From start to finish, they only worried about Ella's reputation, career, and public image. In their eyes, my daughter's trauma and brush with death counted as nothing more than a small accident blocking Ella's bright future and family dignity. I do not care what outsiders say about me. I stared straight at the two elders, my tone firm and cold. I only care about my daughter. No one gave her mercy when she feared dying in fire. I will not spare anyone's career or reputation to protect the person who hurt her. Full custody and divorce lawsuits follow every legal rule. Evidence stands complete and solid. I will not withdraw any filings. I will not compromise at all. When threats and soft persuasion both failed, Ella's mother's voice cracked into begging sobs. Karen, we beg you. Think about Erin's Sake. She is still little. She cannot grow up without a mother. Single-parent homes damage children's growth deeply. Whether she needs a mother depends on if that mother deserves her love. I said quietly but struck the core truth. It is better for her to live safely with me than to stay with a mom who abandons her in life-or-death moments. She would live in constant fear of being left behind again. A broken fake family bond cannot compare to a peaceful safe life for years to come. The two elders lost all ability to argue. Their tough demands and begging faded away completely. Only embarrassment and powerlessness stayed on their faces. They could not find one reasonable point to counter my solid evidence. They could not shake my final decision. Silence stretched on for a long time. Ella's father let out a cold huff. He stood up full of unwillingness. You will regret this unforgiving choice one day. They left with heavy, awkward footsteps. The loud door slam cut off all remaining ties between us. Quiet returned to the living room. I turned toward the bedroom. Erin sat hugging her pillow quietly. She probably heard the argument outside. Small timidness crossed her face, but she stayed sensible and did not make a sound. I walked over slowly. I rubbed the top of her head softly. Public pressure from relatives, emotional manipulation, outside gossip. I could resist all of it. My only goal from now on stayed clear. Protect her safe every year. Never let her feel fear or unfair treatment again. After Ella's parents came to pressure me and left defeated, no more relatives tried to beg me to drop lawsuits using family bonds. All private disputes ended completely. The incident entered official formal investigation stages. Rules and hard evidence decided every outcome. No more space for emotional mediation or vague compromises. The City Fire Rescue Bureau joined Housing and Safety Inspection departments. They built a special fire incident investigation team. They fully reviewed every detail of the Harbor Platinum fire. Professional staff sealed off the building site to collect evidence privately. I attended all investigation work as the security system builder and victim parent. I handed over all original data, pre-fire warning records, and construction filing documents stored in my files. The lead investigator Colin worked in fire analysis for 20 years. He followed evidence strictly. He never let public opinion or personal feelings sway his judgment. After reading my complete evidence chain, he immediately dismissed the popular rumor of random accidental fire and chaotic human error. On-site inspection results told a harsh, clear truth. They tore down all fake public narratives. Fire-warped wall wiring, unauthorized extra power circuits, temporary power gear installed without permits. Investigators pulled all these apart to collect proof. Colin held the test report. He pointed at burnt wire wreckage left on-site. His tone held full certainty. The fire origin shows clear illegal reconstruction marks. Circuit load far exceeded safety limits. No official inspection records exist. This fire came from safety hazards left by illegal construction work. It was never random aging wire failure. Tech teams restored all rescue terminal back-end data from the night of the fire. They listed Ella's operation tracks and alert receipt logs one by one for public record. Every single entry fully proved her professional failure. 7:05 p.m. The fire first broke out. The system locked two trapped children's positions at once. It sent warning alerts to all rescue devices, including Ella's personal rescue tablet. 7:06 p.m. The system sent a second highlighted alarm. It marked Erin's area temperature rising fast. Risk level jumped to extreme danger. The device vibrated nonstop to warn her. No equipment breakdown or signal delay occurred at all. 7:08 p.m. Command radio called out publicly to confirm rescue priority for both trapped kids. Ella stayed silent the whole time. The most critical evidence came from manual alert ignore logs stored on the device. During a full rescue operation where saving lives stood first. After receiving 3 high-risk child warnings, Ella swiped her screen to turn off Aaron's separate trapped alert. She only kept Noah's rescue location active on screen. This single operation destroyed every excuse Ella gave about confusion, blocked sight, or ignorance. Inside the interrogation room, faced with unbreakable proof, Ella's psychological defense collapsed fully for the first time. Before this, she fooled herself into thinking she only made a small wrong choice by luck. She clung to faint hope that society and her family would forgive her mistake. But official strict investigation steps, unalterable digital data, clear full operation logs left no room for her self-serving excuses. Collins spoke strictly without any softness. As frontline rescue lead, you manually disable trap civilian warnings, ignore minor life safety, and prioritize one specific child for rescue. This counts as severe professional dereliction and violation of rescue protocols. Your actions nearly caused a child's death. You completely violated all fire rescue professional standards. Ella sat in the chair. Her fingers squeezed her uniform fabric tight. Her face turned pale as chalk. Her lips opened and shut repeatedly without forming any defensive words. She watched countless fire liability cases before. She knew exactly what this operation proved. She knew the punishment waiting for her. She was no innocent victim. She was the person who created unfair life or death choices during the rescue. Between investigation sessions, she found me alone. All stubbornness and lucky hopes faded away. Only hollow exhaustion filled her eyes. No quarrels, no excuses. Only a quiet, defeated question. Karen, was there never any chance I could fix this? I looked at her with calm, almost cold emotion. The second you manually turned off Aaron's alert, all chances vanished. The system gave you 3 separate chances to choose our daughter. You rejected her every single time. She closed her eyes and lowered her head. Her shoulders shook lightly. She dropped all pretended dignity at last. She admitted her deepest selfish choice. No confusion or misinformation tricked her. Her natural preference and hidden self-interest made her pick her old lover and public fame over her own daughter tied by blood. At the same time, the investigation team fully rejected Lexus Company's earlier claims shifting blame to our security equipment. After full round testing, our gear worked perfectly all night. Warnings sent timely. Data recorded accurately without error. All safety functions met official standards completely. Every public relations lie built for media coverage broke apart under official physical evidence. The heroic filter covering Ella crumbled across all public opinion. All fake appearances, vanity, and lucky assumptions from the fire turned to empty smoke in front of unshakable truth. Only unavoidable consequences and irreversible harm remained for every person involved. The day official investigation results published, Lex threw away his gentle gentleman mask completely. Before this moment, he always acted as an unrelated sympathetic friend and victim property owner. He kept a calm refined businessman image for the public. He even sent private soft messages to me to negotiate peace. He hoped to smooth over all safety hazards using personal connections. But once investigators locked full liability, proved illegal circuit remodeling caused the fire, and public opinion flipped entirely against him, Lex immediately cut all ties to shift blame. Reynard Development released a second statement overnight. The text fully reversed all previous claims. It stopped praising Ella's bravery entirely. Instead, it pushed all rescue failure fault onto her alone. Every line of the statement carried sharp blame. It said all on-site rescue decisions belonged solely to Ella. As the highest-ranking firefighter present, her judgment, choices, and device operations had nothing to do with building construction or our security equipment. The fire came from construction safety risks. But missed rescue chances and child danger existed purely due to personal professional failure. A few short paragraphs created a full dividing line. It turned Ella into the single person taking all blame. I read the statement while building block puzzles with Erin in her ward. The little girl held small blocks carefully to build a tiny house. Timidness faded a little from her face. Peace and healing surrounded us. But cold text on my phone screen made that peace feel sharp and harsh all at once. Marcus called me right away. Cold anger filled his voice. Cruel move. He abandons all consideration without hesitation. Earlier he used Ella to shape public hero stories and cover building safety issues. Now the truth surfaces. He shoves all blame onto her to save himself. I rubbed my phone screen lightly. My tone stayed calm. Predictable. Men like him only value profit, never human connections. Ella found me completely broken down minutes later. No firefighter uniform remained on her. All pride, stubbornness, and lucky assumptions shattered into nothing in her eyes. Thick red lines circled her eyes. Her voice scraped rough like sandpaper. She looked worn out by years of stress in just a few days. Despair emptied her whole body. How could he treat me this way? She stood at the end of the hallway. Her body shook slightly. Disbelief drained all strength from her words. I risked my life rushing into fire to save his son. I ignored Aaron because of him. How can every mistake land on me while he walks away clean? For the first time, she stopped claiming innocence or hiding behind chaos and professional duty as excuses. She saw clearly now. The selfish choice she made that night only turned her into a tool for others to exploit and discard. You only realize this now? I looked at her without a trace of sympathy. You thought you acted selflessly for an old love. Thought you were kind. But in his eyes, you were just a tool to block disaster, shape media stories, and take blame when crisis hits. The media hero's spotlight stayed on you after the fire. All praise and fame belonged to you. Now professional punishment, industry blacklisting, and public criticism fall to you too. He calculated every advantage and disadvantage from the very start. Ella's whole body shook violently. Her eyes flooded red instantly. Tears streamed down without holding back. She fooled herself for so long into thinking her choice that night held kindness. A helpless call in chaos. She fully believed Lex would remember her life-risking favor. She trusted he would pull her out of trouble when disaster came. But reality hit her with a fatal blow. He used her old feelings, her hidden selfish bias, and her professional hero reputation to stabilize initial public opinion and delay liability investigation. Once the truth came out, he cut all ties without hesitation. He pushed her into the abyss fully to protect his business empire. I was so stupid. I was unbelievably stupid. She covered her face. Muffled suppressed sobs leaked through her fingers. I saw Aaron's alert pop up clearly. I could have saved her first. Why did I trust him? Why did I take that pointless risk? Late regret feels cheapest, and most cruel at the same time. I did not comfort her, nor mock her breakdown. I only watched her fall apart quietly. All pain and betrayal she suffered today grew from choices she made personally. She abandoned her own blood to gamble on empty old feelings and empty fame. She lost everything in the end. Meanwhile, deeper investigation uncovered heavy hidden scandals. To cut construction costs and shorten project timelines, Lex not only remodeled circuits without permits, he also disabled partial original security alert permissions. He bribed safety inspection officials to fake qualified safety test reports. The whole building project operated through intentional illegal shortcuts from start to finish. The fire was never an accident. It was the unavoidable result of layers of illegal work and blind risk-taking stacked together. Proof stood undeniable. Housing departments filed full legal liability cases against Reynard Development. All sales projects for the mansion froze completely. All cooperating partners canceled contracts and pulled investment funds. Lex's business empire built over many years neared collapse overnight. Cornered with no way out, Lex contacted me one last time. His gentle tone vanished entirely. Only naked threats remained. He said if I continued pushing liability claims without stopping, he would release all public gossip materials. He would exaggerate Ella's rescue failure nonstop. He would tie my family conflict into media hype. He would make Aaron and me face endless public criticism forever. I read the message and felt ridiculous and hollow. He never understood my core goal from the very beginning. I never wanted revenge. I only wanted my daughter cleared of unfair blame and given a peaceful life. I screenshot the threatening text right away. I sent it to my lawyer to add to the full evidence chain. Evil people never reflect on their own actions. They only shift anger to others. His greed created the fire disaster. His betrayal hurt the woman who sacrificed everything for him. In the end, he destroyed his own business and ruined the woman who once risked her life for him. One single fire burned off the mansion's fancy exterior. It burned away all warm feelings in our marriage. It tore apart all fake human connections and self-interest calculations among adults. Court hearing day brought clear, bright weather. Sunlight streamed through courtroom windows. It fell soft on Aaron's black hair. The warmth smoothed away the heavy stress built up over weeks. After weeks of hospital recovery and professional mental therapy, she lost all timid tension from the fire trauma. She no longer stayed silent or nervous at small movements. She sat by the window holding drawing paper to sketch quietly. She whispered small stories she learned from nurses to me. Childlike liveliness and softness returned to her bit by bit. This connected case covered life safety violations, professional dereliction, marriage breakdown, and illegal commercial construction. After layers of evidence collection and multiple pre-court mediation attempts, the final judgment day arrived. Inside the courtroom, every piece of evidence linked perfectly without gaps. From Reynard Development's illegal apartment circuit remodeling, cost-cutting safety shortcuts, fake inspection reports, to Lex lying during the fire to mislead rescuers, post-fire media whitewashing, and private threatening messages to pressure me. Then Ella receiving 3 high-risk child alerts, manually turning off her daughter's trapped reminder, and choosing to save another child first. Every fact had official test reports, unmodified back-end data, and on-site audio-video footage as proof. No room existed for vague denial or defense. Lex sat at the defendant table, his face turned dark and tight. He lost all refined wealthy businessman poise from before. Every time the judge asked questions and laid out solid evidence against him, he tried to argue. All his lines got rejected one by one. He knew clearly his greedy disregard for human life could never be cleaned up with excuses. The judge read the verdict aloud in court. Reynard Development was found guilty of multiple safety violations and commercial fraud. The company paid massive fines. The Harbor Platinum apartment complex shut down permanently for full reconstruction. All unsold real estate projects froze for thorough investigation. All bribed inspection officials and illegal construction staff faced judicial punishment. Lex personally took primary criminal responsibility. His commercial credit blacklisted permanently. His decades-long real estate career ended completely. The banquet of fame and profit built on blind luck collapsed fully. He had to swallow every bitter fruit he planted himself. Right after the real estate case ruling, the court released fire department internal disciplinary results for Ella. All ranks and honors stripped from Ella's file. She fired from public service. Her name added to the industry permanent blacklist. She could never work in emergency rescue or public security jobs again. The glorious frontline rescuer identity she once carried vanished entirely. Next came the family court judgment. The judge weighed fire incident details, custody capacity, and the child's mental state from all sides. Final ruling: Aaron's full custody and legal guardianship belonged solely to Karen. Ella only kept visitation rights once per month. All visits required third-party agency supervision. Private one-on-one contact with Aaron stayed forbidden. This rule blocked every risk of triggering the child's mental trauma again. The second the judge finished speaking, Ella's shoulders sank with all strength gone. She stood motionless. All stubbornness, lucky hopes, and unwillingness drained away completely. Only hollow, empty numbness remained in her eyes. She chose not to file an appeal right after court. She stopped begging humbly for forgiveness too. By this point, she understood clearly her selfish life-or-death choice destroyed her career, family, and loved ones by her own hand. Every outcome came from her own fault. Court finished. The crowd left one after another. Only a few of us stayed in the empty hallway. Ella hurried forward to block my path. All sharp edges left her posture. She looked humble and defeated. No quarrels, no complaints, only pure regret. Karen, I do not ask for your forgiveness. I dare not hope to make up for anything. Her voice sounded rough and dry. Her eyes turned red. I only beg one thing from you. Take perfect care of Erin. Never let her suffer any unfair treatment again. My biggest mistake in life was abandoning her. I will spend the rest of my life repenting. My gaze stayed flat without waves. I do not need your reminder. I will always protect her fully. This plain, firm reply cut off all lingering entanglement completely. Late apologies held no value. Broken cracks could never repair fully. The debt she owed her child could never be repaid in a lifetime. I did not linger longer. I bent down to hold Erin's warm small hand. I turned and walked steadily out of the courthouse. Bright sunlight covered the road outside. Soft wind brushed our faces. All weeks of conflict and heavy fog cleared away entirely. Erin lifted her head to look at me. Her eyes curved into soft arcs. She gave a bright, unguarded smile she had not shown in weeks. At that single moment, all suffering, confrontations, and exhaustion faded away completely. Every time I persisted and fought for truth gained full meaning. No more fake personal bonds, interest-based weighing, or hidden selfish betrayal in the years ahead. I stay with Erin as she grows up slowly. I help her fully heal from trauma. I watch her turn bright and cheerful once more. I still hold fast to my original goal in the security industry. I use my technology and experience to guard more families' safety. I stop more fire tragedies before they start. Flames burn out. Dust settles at last. Some people trap themselves in endless lifelong regret. Others walk free from dark smoke, holding pure love to live steady, peaceful lives. Every choice brings its own cause and effect. Every selfish act carries its final ending. The most precious thing in this world is never empty fame or old forgotten love. It is quiet daily companionship and unshakable protection that never leaves your side.